city of Old Town is located at the mouth of the Honeywine River. To enter the port of Old Town from the Sunset Sea, one first needs to enter the Whispering Sound Bay. The origins of Old Town are lost to time. The oldest runic records of the first man, as well as records from maesters that claim to have lived among the children of the forest, confirm men have lived at the mouth of the Honeywine since the Dawn Age. It was suggested the settlement at Whispering Sound began as a trading post where ships from Valyria, Old Gis, and the Summer Isles could resupply and trade with so-called elder races. Rival kings, pirates, and reavers coveted Old Town's wealth as the city grew more powerful, but it was protected by only wooden palisades and ditches. In 1 century, the city was sacked by Semble the Starfire, Cored the Cruel, and Giles the Voe. 3/4 of the city's inhabitants were reportedly sold into slavery by Giles, but he failed to conquer the Hightower. Afterwards, Otto II, king of the Hightower, built massive stone walls to protect Old Town. Old Town joined the Kingdom of the Reach when King Lyman Hightower and King Garland II Gardner agreed to marry each other's daughters. City survived the Andal invasion by welcoming the Andals, not resisting them. Lord Dorian Hightower married an Andal princess, while his grandson Daemon converted to the faith of the Seven. Old Town is a beautiful city which has been described to smell as flowery as a perfumed dowager. The city has a labyrinth of wines, crisscrossing alleys, narrow crookback streets and markets. These include the Thieves' Market and Ragpicker's Wynd. Old Town is built in stone with all its streets cobbled, which can make them wet and slippery on a damp day. Most bridges are made of stone as well. Many small isles are located in Old Town. The Quill and Tankard, an inn, stands on its own island in the Honeywine. It is a tall, timbered building that leans toward the south and has a torchlit terrace. Novices from the Citadel go there to drink. The inn is renowned for its fearsomely strong cider, and serving benches also entertain men. In 600 years, the Quill and Tankard has never closed. When Maester Aemon was a young novice, he used to go to the Quill and Tankard. When his younger brother, Prince Aegon Targaryen, and Sir Duncan the Tall, the knight he squired for, came to visit him, they wandered to west of the river. The guildhalls line the riverbank. In the undercity of Old Town, there are rat pits and black brothels. And then there is the mighty Hightower, a massive stepped lighthouse located on Battle Isle, where the Honeywine widens into Whispering Sound. The Hightower has a great beacon on top, which shows ships the way to port. It is located on Battle Isle and is the tallest tower in the world, higher even than the 700-foot wall. The people of Old Town can tell the time of day by the tower's shadow, and some claim that the wall can be seen from its top. The foundation of the Hightower is a fortress of unadorned black stone of uncertain origin on Black Isle. House Hightower lived within it and subsequently built the Hightower above it. While some believe it to be Valyrian in origin, others suggest that it was made by the Maze Makers, and then others again state that it was created by the Deep Ones, citing its similarities to the Seastone Chair. The legends of the Lorati state the Maze Makers were destroyed by creatures of the sea. So maybe the Deep Ones took over what is now the foundation of the Hightower after defeating Maze Makers. Valyrian origin is supported by the claim that Old Town began as a trading post for ships of Valyria, Old Gis, and the Summer Isles, predating the arrival of the first man to Westeros. House Hightower of the Hightower is an ancient and noble family of impeccable lineage, as they were first-man kings during the dawn of days. The first chronicles that mention a high tower describe it as made of wood and rising some 50 feet above the ancient fortress. Later records mention taller timber towers. All of these served as a beacon to light the path of trading ships passing through the fog-shrouded waters of Whispering Sound. The early members of House Hightower lived amidst the gloomy halls, vaults, and chambers of the Blackstone fortress. It was only with the construction of the fifth tower, the first made entirely of stone, that the Hightower became a seat worthy city of a great house. The king who demanded it and paid for its construction is remembered as Uthor of the High Tower. Some say this first stone tower, which rose 200 feet above the harbor, was designed by Bran the Builder, while others say it was by his son, another Brandon. There is a complex of buildings in Old Town that serves as headquarters to the Order of the Maesters. One of them is the Citadel, also known as the High Tower. It is both the seat of House Hightower and the headquarters of the Order of Maesters. The name is also employed to refer to Order of Maesters as an institution or its leadership. The Citadel is where the Maesters convene, study, and train new members, and it is also the residence of the Archmaesters. House Hightower played an integral role in the foundation of the Citadel and continue to be strong patrons of learning. The Citadel is funded by taxes from Old Town and payments from lords for the service of Maesters. The Maesters are scholars, scientists, learned advisors to the nobility, and occasionally researchers in the occult. As advisors to the Westerosi nobility, the Maesters have largely supplanted the Alchemists' Guild. They are sometimes called the Knights of the Mind. Males of any age may begin training as a Maester. Females are not permitted to study or join the order. Noble families sometimes send their younger sons to the Citadel. A bastard may study at the Citadel and become a Maester. The Maesters, like the Brothers of the Night's Watch, are considered to be servants of Westeros and all its people, and in theory have no political allegiance. After finishing his course of study, a Maester is assigned to a castle, keep, or other holding, and is loyal to the people of that place as a mentor, healer, and advisor, regardless of changes in control of that holding. To this end, a man who earns his chain is stripped of his family name, and from that time on is known only by his title and first name. In practice, some Maesters hold over old allegiances and loyalties. Archmaester is the perceived master of any area of study, is given the title of Archmaester and the mask, ring, and rod in the corresponding medal to signify his expertise. For example, an Archmaester who specializes in ravenry will have a mask, ring, and rod made of black iron. Archmaesters are the senior members of the order and are given the right to sit on the conclave. The conclave is the governing body of the Citadel and is the same body that elects the Grand Maester who advises the king. All meetings of the conclave are confidential in nature and conducted behind closed doors at the Citadel only. Marvin the Mage is the order's leading researcher into the occult and magic, with a mask, ring, and rod made of Valyrian steel. For his strange pursuits and gruff manner, he is ostracized by others in the Citadel. People say that Marvin keeps the company of whores and hedge wizards, talks with hairy Ibonese and pitch-black summer islanders in their own tongues, and sacrifices to queer gods at the little sailors' temples down by Old Town's wharfs. Men speak of seeing him down by the Undercity, in rat pits and black brothels, consorting with mummers, singers, sellswords, and even beggars. Some even have whispered that he has killed a man with his fists only. He believes in many curious things. Marvin has traveled the lands beyond the narrow sea. He encountered Mirri Maz Duur in his travels and taught her the secrets of the human body and the common tongue. Marvin spent 8 years in the east mapping distant lands, searching for lost books, and studying with warlocks and shadowbinders. He was nicknamed Marvin the Mage by Archmaester Vaelin after his return. The name was soon all over Old Town, much to Vaelin's vast annoyance. Marvin often calls the rest of the Maesters the Grey Sheep. He is the author of a book called The Book of Lost Books. The accounts of his travels confirmed reports that there are no living animals in Asshai. The Grand Maester is a senior member of the Order who serves as the Citadel's representative to the king on the Iron Throne, the Lord of the Seven Kingdoms. The Grand Maester can only be made or unmade by the Conclave, sworn to serve the whole realm. The Grand Maester sits on the small council and acts as one of the king's advisors. The Grand Maester wears many interwoven Maester chains to indicate his high office, but these do not reflect his true studies. The Seneschal is chosen from among the Archmaesters by lot, with a new one chosen each year. He is tasked with the governance of the citadel. Most archmaesters consider it a thankless task that takes them away from their true calling. Outside the seneschal's court is where the acolytes and novices are punished for minor crimes, such as petty thievery. Inside the doors is a hall with a stone floor and high arched windows. At the far end of the hall there is a raised dais, where a gatekeeper greets all those who wish to make an appointment to see the seneschal. Just inside the gates of the citadel lies the scribe's hearth. Here the citizens of Old Town come to hire scribes, usually acolytes, to write and read letters for them. The scribes wait in open stalls for their custom. Other stalls situated at the scribe's hearth include those where books are bought and sold. Others offer maps. The Isle of Ravens is linked to the eastern bank of the Honeywine by a weathered wooden drawbridge. On the island is located the Ravenry, the oldest building of the citadel. In the Age of Heroes, what is now the Ravenry of the citadel was supposedly the stronghold of a pirate lord who robbed ships as they came down the Honeywine. The walls of the Ravenry are covered in moss and vines, and within its yard sits a weirwood tree on which the ravens like to perch. The White Raven Rookery is located in the West Tower. Located at the mouth of the Honeywine, Old Town is a port city and serves as the realm's second most important harbor. Trading ships from all the world, including other Westerosi places, the 9 free cities, the Summer Isles, and more, are known to call upon Old Town's port. King Aegon I Targaryen's reign is dated from his entrance into the city of Old Town and his acknowledgement as king by the High Septon, who had advised Lord Manfred Hightower to yield without conflict. During the Dance of the Dragons, Lord Armand Hightower and Prince Daeron Targaryen marched an army from Old Town on behalf of the Greens. During the Great Spring Sickness of 209 after conquest, Old Town suffered badly, second only to King's Landing. Sir Duncan the Tall met Maester Aemon when he and Prince Aegon Targaryen visited the city while returning from Dorne. A generation later, Old Town was struck by the dreaded Grey Plague, a more deadly and fast-acting cousin of Grayscale. The outbreak occurred when Grand Maester Pycelle was young and wiped out half of the city and 3/4 of the citadel during its run. To prevent its spread, Lord Quentyn Hightower ordered the gates barred, all the ships in harbor burned, and anyone trying to leave killed. These orders made him extremely unpopular, but the measures were successful. The day he rescinded the orders, after the plague had burned itself out, Quentyn and his young son were pulled from their horses and had their throats slit by the survivors. The Starry Sept was the seat of the High Septon for at least 1,000 years prior to the War of Conquest. It has black marble walls and arched windows. The Starry Sept was built by Lord Tristan Hightower in honor of his mentor and earlier regent, Septon Robeson. Robeson was Septon during the rule of Lord Daemon Hightower. When Daemon died of a bad belly, Robeson became regent for Daemon's newborn son, Tristan. Robeson ruled Old Town in all but name for 20 years, and ultimately became the first High Septon. Lord Tristan raised the Starry Sept in Robeson's honor after his passing. When Aegon the Conqueror was anointed in the faith in Starry Sept, his official rule over the 7 kingdoms began. The Starry Sept was later replaced as the seat of the High Septon by the Great Sept of Baelor in King's Landing. Besides the Starry Sept, at least 7 more septs honoring the 7, built on the command of Lord Daemon Hightower, can be found in Old Town or on the city's lands. These might include the Sailor's Sept down by the harbor, the Lord's Sept, and the 7 shrines in their gardens. Old Town is also home to a Mother House, a monastic community for septas of the Faith of the 7. A similar community for men is the Septry. Down by the wharves, temples that cater to foreigners, such as the Summer Islanders and Red Priests of the Lord of Light, can be found. Thank you for the attention. Come visit from time to time. See ya!